Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Golden People, TGP, and this channel is dedicated to people of mixed race and the evolution of mixed people in the 21st century. I want to talk about Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States of America. This is a huge mark in history. This is amazing. She's made history. She's the first woman to ever be Vice President ever. And she's the first woman of color to ever hold this position. It's amazing. I did a little research on her background and found out that she's part Afro-Jamaican, part Indian Tamil, Chinese, and Irish. That's a lot of mixture. It's amazing that America has evolved where they can vote for someone like her and actually get her into office. That to me shows that racism isn't what they're putting or projecting on in the media. I don't think it's the way that people want it to be. I think people like each other and respect each other on a higher level than what they put into the media. A little bit about Kamala. She's born in Oakland, California. She graduated from Howard University and the University of California. She started out as being a district attorney in California, and then she became a state attorney. Then she became a senator. So she has this huge work history in government and law. Amazing background, and there's a lot more. But the fact that she just kept going, she didn't stop. She didn't let being a person of color stop her from wanting to achieve more. She saw that the world had changed. She saw that there was an opportunity to make it a better place to live. And she fought for what she wanted. She didn't give up. I also believe that when Barack Obama became president, that showed me that people have moved forward and evolved into a better space. I think people want change and people want to see change. And I think people have come together in so many different ways from all different backgrounds. And I believe that racism has been broken down so much so that now we can elect people of color to higher positions in the White House. And I found a good family tree about Kamala Harris and her family, and I thought I would post that because it'll give you a little bit of a background of who she is and where she comes from.
Kamala's father is Donald Harris. He was born in Jamaica, but immigrated to the US, where he became a professor of economics at Stanford University. According to Professor Harris, the two individuals who had the biggest influence on him during his upbringing in Jamaica were his two grandmothers, known as Miss Crishy and Miss Iris. Miss Crishy owned and operated a dry goods store in Brownstown. The name Brownstown comes from its founder, Hamilton Brown, an Irish slave owner, who, according to Donald, was an ancestor of Crishy Brown. This fact made the rounds last year when several far-right media outlets tried to make Kamala Harris look like a hypocrite by claiming that her Jamaican ancestors were a bunch of slave owners. Here's the thing. Like I mentioned in my video on Berry Gordy, most Black Americans have at least one white male somewhere on their family tree because of the sad fact that during the period of American slavery, slavers often raped females whom they enslaved. But this doesn't change the fact that far more people on their tree were likely on the other side of that equation, as enslaved individuals of African descent. So how these facts are supposed to make Kamala look bad is beyond me. Anyhow, let's now look at the other side of her family. Her mother is Shyamala Gopalan. She was born in Chennai, India, but like Donald, immigrated to the US. The two actually met during their graduate studies at UC Berkeley, and they were both involved in the US civil rights movement. But whereas Donald studied economics, Shyamala studied medicine and became a cancer researcher. As I mentioned in my recent video on the Marathas, India is more of a continent than a country, and therefore there's not really a single ethnicity known as Indian. In Shyamala's case, it would be more accurate to say that her ethnicity was Tamil. This means that ethnically, Kamala is half Tamil. However, according to Kamala herself, she primarily identifies simply as black, which
although she identifies as black, she obviously is a mixed woman, and she's well aware of that. I think she only says that just to kind of reaffirm who she knows she is. You know, she's a woman of color, and that she's okay with that. That she doesn't have to define herself any other way for anybody else to accept her. And I totally understand that.
Anyway, back to Kamala Harris's tree. Her maternal grandfather was named P.V. Gopalan. He was a lifelong civil servant, holding major government positions in both India and Zambia. He, along with his wife and children, were Hindus, and therefore Kamala grew up attending a Hindu temple as well as a Black Baptist church. Today, Kamala identifies primarily as Christian. However, she also has ties to Judaism. That's because in 2014, she married Douglas Emhoff, a Jewish lawyer. He has a son and a daughter from a previous marriage, and so although Kamala has not had any children of her own, she does have 2 stepchildren. As for siblings, Kamala has one sister named Maya, who is married to Tony West. Maya, like Kamala, became a lawyer and is currently also an MSNBC contributor. Tony, also a lawyer, was Associate Attorney General under Barack Obama and currently is the Chief Legal Officer for Uber. Maya has a daughter named Mina, who was born when Maya was in high school. Tony is her stepdad. She, like the rest of the family, is a lawyer, but recently she also authored a book called Kamala and Maya's Big Idea. So that was a look at the family tree of Kamala Harris, potentially the first woman to hold the position of Vice President of the United States, and potentially the first Black American and American of Indian descent to hold this position.
Well, thank you all for watching this video, and thank you all that chose Biden and Kamala to be the president and vice president of the United States. This is a huge undertaking, a huge change in trajectory, and I'm loving it. So please like and subscribe and leave your comments below. Thank you. Bye.